Hey, what's up everybody? Retro Gaming Guy here. Today in this video, we're going to jump into the Beelink SER6 Max mini PC, which for CPU offers the AMD Ryzen 7 7735HS, which has 8 cores, 16 threads, and an internal clock speed of 3.2 to 4.7 gigahertz. So absolutely amazing right off the bat. But for graphics, we have the AMD Radeon 680M, and this also offers 4K quad display output right here on this mini PC. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox it, set it up, and jump into a wide range of games so we can further gauge what the performance is like on here. I have high hopes for this based on the specs, but I don't want to just jump into retro video game emulation today. I want to also jump into Windows 11 Pro, which comes stock on this mini PC, so we can dive into Steam and test out the performance with modern day games as well. Now, before we dive into this video any further, I do want to take just a minute of your time to introduce you guys to Mint Mobile, who I've partnered with for this video right here. Mint Mobile offers an amazing premium wireless service that you may have actually heard of already from their funny commercials with Ryan Reynolds. Now, with rates as low as just $15 a month, you don't have to sacrifice coverage, data, or speed because Mint Mobile is built on the nation's largest 5G network. All the available Mint Mobile plans offer unlimited nationwide talk and text, lightning fast 5G, and free hotspot. Mint is also offering a modern family plan that allows you to save yourself a boatload of money on your plan with as little as 2 phone lines. Now, Mint Mobile sells directly to customers online rather than operating retail stores or using salespeople. So they're able to save money on their end, and they forward that savings onto you, the customer. Switching over to Mint Mobile is quick and easy thanks to their digital eSIM cards, which can be activated instantly from the comfort of your own home. But rest assured, if you do need customer service, you can call their customer service line anytime, day and night. So why pay more for the exact same service in the end? It doesn't make much sense, but you know what does make sense? Clicking the link in the description of this video or scanning the QR code on your screen to get some additional information on what Mint Mobile has to offer or to switch over today. If you've already switched over to Mint Mobile, let me know in the comments section what your experience has been like. I've personally switched over to Mint Mobile over a month ago now, and I've been saving money ever since. So let's dive into this mini PC and see what it has to offer us. All right, guys, here we've got our Beelink SER6 Max. We're going to go ahead and open this up and see what we've got waiting for us inside. So we've got a user manual here, which I'm going to thumb through really quick. I am very familiar with Beelink's products, and they are very thorough. So you can take a look in here. Full demo as to what we would need for setup. Walks through everything within the actual PC. Looks like we have a mounting bracket in here as well. It tells you how to install that, and it comes in a bunch of different languages. So couldn't ask for more from the user manual here. We'll jump back into that if we need to. Before we actually dive into the mini PC itself, let's see what is included in here. Right off the bat, I see that we do have a mounting bracket. So I think that's absolutely amazing that they provide that. You'd be surprised how many mini PCs do not offer this, and it just drives me nuts because one of the coolest features of a mini PC is the fact that you can easily mount it to just about anything. So we've got mounting screws here. We've got our power supply cable. And one thing that I noticed about this right off the bat, as soon as I peeked into this box, is this connection right here to actually connect it to the mini PC. This is a magnetic connection, so we don't have to worry about our power supply cable getting dislodged from our mini PC. That should line up perfectly on there, so I can't wait to test that out. We also have a HDMI cable in here, and it looks like we also have a shorter HDMI cable. So 2 HDMI cables included. That's it for what is included inside of this box. But let's go over here now and see our mini PC itself. All right, so everything is wrapped up here. We've got to peel back all of this. All right, so here we have our Beelink SER6 Max mini PC, and this is a chunky mini PC. I'm liking it though. I like the color. Everything on here is metallic, so we don't have to worry about cheap plastic. Ventilation literally everywhere on here except the front panel. So we do have significant cooling within this. So I love the fact that there's excellent airflow, judging by all the ventilation. And let's take a look at what is offered. First and foremost, the front side of this mini PC. So right over here, we have our power button. Excellent action on that. And I know people must think I'm nuts when I'm talking about action on the power button, but there's so many power buttons on mini PCs that are so flat or recessed into the surface that you have to like push in there super carefully and thoroughly to actually engage it. Not the case here. We have also a USB 3 port right across the front, Type-C port right there, headphone jack located right in front. All of these obviously super convenient to access and be able to utilize, especially for gaming. And now if we go to the right side, you can see, or the left side for you guys, right side for me, ventilation over there, same thing on the other side. Now let's flip this all the way around to the back. Definitely have another 2 Type-C ports over here, HDMI right there. Over here we have another headphone jack, which can also be used for microphone. We also have a display port here, which is great. I love the fact that we have display port. There's still a lot of people using that connection. 2 additional USB ports and an Ethernet port down here. Now, if we go to the bottom side, you're going to see that we have a little flap right here. We peel that back. We can remove that, and that is going to be where our power supply cable has that magnetic connection. So we just put it in just like that. It connects perfectly. If we pull on this, it's not going to dislodge. We'd really have to give it a good yank to actually get it off, and I'm actually trying to give it a yank. It stays on there really well. So to remove it, you just have to go up here and just kind of rock it off. And you can see I even had to struggle with it. It kind of snaps into place. A little bit hard to see in the video, but there's like a little snap there, and you can hear it click into place. It doesn't just go in there purely off of the magnetic connection. It also sort of snaps in there as well. So that's awesome to see. So we're going to go ahead and set this up, test it out, and see what our performance is like on here. Because again, the specs seem absolutely phenomenal on this mini PC from Beelink.
Looks like a running play. They're going for 2.
Love. Game processing.
Steve Austin and Vince McMahon will be having a match. This singles match will be an important match. The arena is packed. That was a nice one. Huh? Bang!
Game point. Game Donkey Kong. Game start. From the stage.
with you, Chief.
Battle 2. Fight!
Win!
No! So predictable! Here you go! Not quite! Not quite! Tia! So predictable! Here you go!
Perfect!
First place.
Round 2. Fight! KO. You win.
Power weapons incoming. Power weapons have arrived.
The enemy has your flag.
Look there. Enemy flag carrier.
Alright guys, we just jumped into the Beelink SER6 mini PC, and I have to say the performance on here was absolutely phenomenal. Now I've tested out a lot of mini PCs right here on this channel, and this one at the time of this video is the best out there. This is the most impressive mini PC, unlimited capabilities for gaming, and it's not even marketed as a gaming PC or a mini gaming PC. It's just a mini PC, but it has a phenomenal experience with gaming. And it's, again, not just retro gaming, not just retro gaming emulation, it's gaming in general. We jumped into about a SER6 to dive into a wide range of games and gaming collections, tested everything out over there, but we also jumped into Steam and we played some more modern games on here as well. So before I dive in depth into the performance review side, I want to talk a little bit about the mini PC in general. Now, obviously, this isn't the smallest scale mini PC out there. It's not going to fit necessarily in the palm of your hand unless you have really big hands. But I think that the specs certainly justify having that larger scale here. Now, cooling is another factor that comes into play here, and I believe that the cooling is so good on here because of it being a little bit larger scale. You're going to have more airflow. You have larger fans within that are actively cooling everything. And I jumped into, as I said, some modern day stuff as well. We jumped into multiplayer on the latest Halo release, and I played that game for over an hour. When I touched the mini PC at the end of that experience, it was still very much cool. It wasn't even warm, certainly wasn't hot. So that just shows you that a modern day game that is, certainly demanding on a mini PC, and most mini PCs couldn't even boot that game up. Over here on this Beelink SER6, it's super cool. So I think that says a lot about this. Now, I love the fact that it is a little bit larger, in all honesty. I don't really care if it's a 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch setup, or if it's, a little bit larger like it is here. If the specs line up and give you better performance in the end, that's really all that matters to me. Now, another thing that I think is really cool is we have a magnetic power supply connection. And the magnet isn't the only connection there. It guides the connection, but it also clicks into place. So there is zero risk of dislodging this accidentally. And obviously, if you dislodge a power supply cable to a PC, you can risk doing some serious damage to the PC and everything that you have attached to it. So if you have a micro SD card, you could corrupt that very easily. If you have an SSD, you can certainly do damage to that, possibly corrupt it. Same with a regular hard drive. So you don't want to risk, yanking out a power supply cable. And that's an issue that I've had with other mini PCs out there. Some of the connections are really loose. In fact, a couple weeks ago, I had a mini PC. I was in the middle of a game and I just picked it up to just adjust the placement on my desk. And I pulled the power supply cable out from the backside of the PC. Lost all my progress. I was recording at the time, so it kills the recording as well. It was just, a crappy experience. And yeah, it was my fault for, being kind of careless, but I didn't yank it or anything like that. It just wasn't a really good connection. Something like this, you don't have that problem. So it's a small thing to consider, but I think that when you think about it, it just kind of gives you some more insight into what they thought about when deciding what they were going to put into this product. So it's definitely a good thing. Now, if I was looking for something to be picky about with this, and it's a struggle because I am really impressed by this, I would look at what is offered for ports on here. We don't have a lot of USB-A ports on here. We have 3, only 1 is USB 3. Now, usually on mini PCs, we're seeing a shift where almost all of the USB ports are turning USB 3. It's just a more desirable approach. Now, with this, obviously, we only have 3, but we do have some Type-C connections, which are becoming more and more popular. So if I was going to be looking for something negative, I would say add some additional USB-A ports on here, or make all 3 of them USB 3. That's really the only thing I would say here, though, just because if you wanted to use USB-A ports, you can use them up really quickly. I have a mouse I could use a USB port for. I have a keyboard and then a controller. And that would use up all of the connections right here on this mini PC. Luckily, the Bluetooth compatibility and capability on here is phenomenal. So I used a Bluetooth controller today for everything that I did. It was a great experience, super stable connection, no issues whatsoever, no lags, delays, nothing like that. So I think that's probably the approach most people would take when gaming on here. And you could do the same with keyboards and a mouse as well. But, again, if we're nitpicking, we're looking for something to, give them, some advice on how to improve it, make the USB-A ports USB 3, or add some additional ones on here. There's certainly enough area on this mini PC to accommodate more ports, but still great offerings here. I love that it has DisplayPort as well as HDMI. Most people are going to go HDMI, but DisplayPort is often overlooked as well. So let's talk about the performance now. We jumped into a SER6, and usually with mini PCs, we run into significant issues at some point as we dive into game collections and different emulators. Usually, the low-end mini PCs, you'll get into N64 if you're lucky. Dreamcast, and you'll get into maybe Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn can be tough, though. It's a tough emulator. The games are challenging to emulate. We had a great experience with all of those. I didn't spend any time on earlier stuff. I did test them out off camera, NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, all that good stuff. Classic arcade as well. Even Sega Model 2 and Model 3. Phenomenal experience on here. I didn't want to waste too much time diving into demos like that, because if you can get into the more challenging stuff, obviously everything prior to that is going to run really smooth as well. We got into all that perfectly. We got into GameCube perfectly, Wii U perfectly, Nintendo Switch perfect. We even got into PS2. We got into Xbox 360. Now, Xbox 360, especially through Batocera, is a challenge in and of itself. With mini PCs, I have yet to find a mini PC that is capable of Xbox 360 emulation. Now, we jumped in through Batocera, which is not the ideal way to approach Xbox 360 emulation. Typically, you're going to have a much better experience through Windows as opposed to Batocera. But we jumped into NBA Jam. Unfortunately, not the On Fire edition, which is my personal favorite, because you have the classic roster as well as what would have been just the current roster at the time of the release. But we had a great experience there. Now, the game wasn't perfect in that there was no score on screen, but that's an issue with the game itself, not the specs of the PC. So, smooth gameplay, no lags, delays, audio issues of any kind, just really a great experience. So, that's Xbox 360 through Batocera on a mini PC. Mind-blowing. Now, we also got into PS3. Now, mini PCs, again, fall short of PS3 every single time I've ever tested, to the point where I barely even test anymore, because at best you'd get a game to load in super slow motion. Like, I'm talking probably like 20 seconds to hit the start button and to see it register on screen. Just snail's pace with PS3. But with this one, no issues whatsoever for the games that work with the emulator. It can be a dicey emulator to get working and to have a good experience with, but the games that should work did work with the Beelink SER6. So let's talk about the experience now on Steam, which is going off of Windows 11 Pro. That comes stock on here when you get this mini PC. So we downloaded Steam. We jumped into a bunch of different games, some very modern, some just a couple years old. We jumped into the racing game here, which I'm blanking on the name of right now. It's not a game that I play a whole heck of a lot, but it's basically like Cruise and Blast for Nintendo Switch. Very much the same sort of style and layout to the game. Great experience there, no lags, delays, audio issues, nothing of the sort, just absolutely phenomenal across the board. We also jumped into Tekken 7 on here, and I can't say that it was absolutely 100% perfect. It was very good, but there were slight little hiccups on screen if I was really paying close attention to things, but still a 100% enjoyable experience here. And we have to remember, this is a mini PC, not a gaming PC, so it's not going to be, you can't compare it to like a $1,500 or $2,500 gaming PC that is meant to purely game. That's not the case here. So the fact that we are having this great of an experience jumping into Steam is really impressive. Now, we also jumped into the latest Halo game, and we jumped into multiplayer on here, which I'm absolutely terrible at, but I played it for a while, and it wasn't 100% perfect. There's still little hiccups here and there, but certainly playable and enjoyable. There was no point in time where I was, turning left and it would take, 3 seconds to track that way. That wasn't the case. Little minor hiccups on screen, but no screen tearing, no audio issues, no cutouts, nothing like that. Just the slightest little hiccups where it would lag very briefly. Doesn't impact the gaming experience by any means. But again, it's a mini PC, not a full-scale gaming PC for thousands of dollars. Now, price point on here is very affordable, in my opinion, for what you get in terms of performance and specs on here. I'm not going to quote in the video the price, because prices do fluctuate, especially lately. I'm seeing major fluctuations in price points, but at the time of this video, it was north of $600, but that could go up, could go down, just depends on what's going on out there in this crazy world. So if you want additional information as to what it's going for currently, and of course, full details on all of the specs, click the link up here at the top of your screen. Also, you'll find that same link in the description of this video as well. But I had a phenomenal experience here. I think that this is, again, the best mini PC out there on the market today that I've tested out. So definitely get some additional information on it and certainly give it some thought as to whether it may be the best fit for you, depending on what your needs are and what you're looking for. So that's going to do it for today. Be sure to give me a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed the content today. But of course, hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos. If you enjoyed what you saw today, I do a whole lot more like it in my other videos. So definitely hit subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers here in the next little over a year. So hoping by the end of October 2024 to be at 100K. So let me know what you guys want to see here on the channel as well. I'm always open to hearing from you guys as to what you want to see more of here. But that's going to do it for the video today. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.